This is the story of Megabase, a base so large it involved over 30 loyal members, and has been 2b2t's best kept secret since 2017. A base of this magnitude had taken thousands of hours to build and had been running strong for years, while being held in complete secrecy from any other player. The Megabase had amassed insanely large structures, with 12 separate canals, a centerpiece mountain, and terraformed gardens, lakes, and houses. The name Moo was the idea of Offtopia, a very well-known 2b2t player who had been playing almost as long as the server had been up itself. The name Moo was based off the legendary lost continent that had appeared in some forms of literature. It was described as a mythic land that was lost a long time ago, which is perhaps why Offtopia chose this name, as the Megabase was millions of blocks from spawn. The story begins in May of 2017, when Summermelon, one of the largest 2b2t bases ever built, was griefed. This act of destruction left many of Summermelon's skilled builders homeless. As Offtopia knew members of both the Summermelon group and the Nether Highway group, a natural connection was made. Soon after, Offtopia began discussing his base ideas with a user named Joe ILK in late July 2017. Because of a dupe figured out by one of the members, resources would not be an issue at Megabase. The chunk duplication glitch that was discovered by one of the members was held private for almost a year without anyone else knowing, until the glitch was discovered elsewhere and made public. By November 2017, a user named Hammernaut arrived at the location that was chosen for Megabase. Not too long afterwards, the coordinates to one of the tunnels leading to Moo was leaked in the chat. After some careful plotting, Moo's original location was left unrepaired as a grief decoy base, and Moo would be moved further out from anyone's knowledge. The floating platform was the personal home for all members working on Megabase, which was filled with beds and essentials. This platform was everybody's first home when they first arrived at the base. Since only a select few knew how to use the duplication glitch, members would have to make requests for items they needed. The amount of duping done resulted in more than 200 million items being used up, which made Megabase one of the most resource-heavy bases ever created in a survival Minecraft world. In an effort to embrace the fact that Moo was 3 groups coming together, 3 boats were made, each representing their own group. This area was called Moo Landing. Additionally, the Moo banner was provided by Offtopia, which was used to signify a secret society of builders. Now that the plans were ready, and the materials were gathered up, the 3 groups began to build the base. With the insane amount of collaboration done by the groups, a bombing system was built, which turned out to be incredibly efficient. So efficient in fact that they were able to destroy tens of millions of blocks before getting ready to start building. Getting a good bomber design was a struggle for the builders, as lag would be a common issue. However, they powered through and made it work. The bombing of the basin began in January 2018. As you can see for yourself, quite a bit of TNT needed to be dropped. Since the TNT did not drop deep enough as desired, a whole other set of bombers was built below the originals. The task was so daunting it took the crew several more weeks to get past this hurdle. The bombing itself was extremely time consuming. With 2b2t's short entity render distance, only a few bombing modules could be launched at one time, with lag making it harder as well. If you went out of render distance, the bomber would completely stop or sometimes even blow up. As a result, the members had to keep rebuilding the bombers and ran them in teams, so if somebody ever fell, the other person could take over for them and safely load the bombers again. Here's an awesome progress shot captured by the team during the bombing. Also note that there were a lot of lakes, and removing the water with sponges was a project in itself. The floating platform with resources and food was in the top left. On February 17, 2018, most of the group came together for a screenshot in the basin. By this point, most of the people invited to the project had arrived to Megabase. As the bombing finished up, a builder named Toshi began work on designing the centerpiece, Mount Moo. This was the first of many strips of grass covering the bottom of the basin. The effort of filling the huge circle took several double chests of grass blocks. Luckily, grass wasn't in short supply. This was a legendary moment for the crew, as this screenshot shows the placement of the final grass block. With the exterior grass placed, it was now time to build Moon Mountain, the centerpiece of the project. The mountain alone took more than 2 months to build, as construction started on Feb 25, 2018, and was completed on April 7, 2018. After several months, the canvas had been set. Now the real work would begin. You'll see an exterior circle of floating slime blocks around a gate in the above screenshot. That 1600 block diameter was the original proposed size of the basin before decisions were made to shrink it to 1000. Probably a good call. The welcoming portal to the base was built by Twinkletard and took the form of a giant ghast. The red nether brick path coming out of its mouth was known as the Ghast Tongue Highway. This base was active when colored signs were available for a few weeks, so some screenshots had them. Inside the ghast was the main signboard of the Megabase. A great many players made the journey to Mu, mostly by walking. Many players brought over multiple accounts. Interestingly, pig speed was how transportation worked for much of the base's life. Pig stations were set up along the ghast tongue and near major stashes, along with carrot on a stick refill stations. The centerpiece of the base itself contained a hall of statues. These statues were designed for each base member in a similar style based on some old Minecraft videos. Each one was displayed along with the date the player arrived at Mu Megabase. The Pokemon Mew became Mu's unofficial mascot for obvious reasons. Maybe if they try and build it again, they'll call it Mu 2. A large swamp ended up occupying the northeast quarter of the basin, created by user Druid14. The swamp would include glowing green rivers, fishing villages, a giant mushroom, and much more. There were many more builds in the base, such as this Greek-themed temple, also built by Druid. One of the builds I consider the coolest is the Cathedral of the Melon Goddess, which was built by Aaron Alvin. This build took over 3 months to build and took hundreds of hours of work. When the famous account exploit of 2b2t was discovered in late February, some of the famous names at Mu Megabase were targets to have their accounts logged into. Unfortunately for the crew, this is exactly how the base fell apart. Players banded together to finish off the ceiling of the Nether Hub at this time, becoming Mu's final project. On March 22nd, 2020, the base had finally been raided due to the account exploit. It was one of 2b2t's most interesting places ever created. However, on the oldest Anarchy server in Minecraft, nothing is permanent. Thank you for watching.